Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome and welcome back. So today I have an update for everybody on this immersive reader. So overall, a lot of work had to be done to refactor the system, and I wanted to show you this again, the model search once more, because it's relevant to the changes that I'm in the direction I'm moving towards. So this search was really cool. One, there is a not safe for work filter. So that hasn't been totally implemented yet. So I'm going to stick with this tried and true search. But it's coming so that I can do more search options. So here we go. So we have this search and also just a basic prompt to generate images. These oddities, like the eyes being odd sizes, the hands being just all forms of screwed up, gonna be fixed. What I've seen is a lot of negative prompts being used there, and I'll show you what I mean. Really cool stuff. And then, show you on Civit AI's site. They have demonstrations on how that's avoided. So anyways, I showed that part because it's relevant for this. So as I'm coming through here, right? So I've selected my book, I've started the chapter, and now what I'm looking for is the different profiles that are associated with this reading. So the Dursleys are in here, Dudley is somewhere in here, on Dursley-ish. It's cool they didn't pick that up as an entity, but that's a description, right? There it is, Dudley. The Potters are apparently in here. Yeah. And then Mrs. Potter referring to Mrs. Dursley's sister. So this is super cool. And I think I can still enable this by saying, hey, selecting a model. It's okay. Yeah, it failed. Some refactoring happened. So with all these profiles, what I want to have happen is I select this up here and I select a model to associate, right? So currently it's not showing anything, but what I plan to have done is take this modal and apply this search. So let's just try it, Mrs. Dursley. I should be able to look up some models. No results. That's fine. How about just Dursley? And with that, it should give me what's available. And I guess some aren't going to be available. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, we got options. Let's go ahead and download these. Yes. Fantastic. Damn. Oh, whatever. This is so cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting hyped. So there it is, right? I looked these guys up. Let's see. Is Dudley in there? It's surprising he doesn't come up as Dursley. Nope. Nope. That's fine. Okay, so I guess there won't be something for everybody, but that'll be fine, right? Even if something's missing, still generating a cool character will be awesome. So what was the point? So over here, as I'm going through the book, I can start clicking on these profiles that come up as I'm reading and say, oh, so this character doesn't have an associated model to generate these things from, right? So I just downloaded Mr. and Mrs. Dursley. So I should be able to associate those models with the two of them. Or if I don't have it downloaded, search them up and find them, right? And that's the plan. after that, you have the models associated with the profiles. You have enough of a description for scenes, right? There's no descriptions provided here, but there are descriptions for this setting. You should be able to draw one image for every character and then one background for all entities involved, right? So that will be interesting. I expect that to be available within a few days, and I'll just continue working on that. I did get passed on my app review for Orca, so I'm going to switch gears on that for tomorrow. So I'll come back to this on Wednesday, maybe Thursday. I've got some plans. I'm going to go to the movies with my sister, so it'll be a fun event. Anyways, so before I close out, looks like I got a little bit more time. I wanted to showcase how Civit AI, how they handle the I always spell Hermione wrong. How they handle the eye thing, the eye issues and the hand issues. So this is the model I'm using for Hermione. Should load up here in a second. And what I'll be doing, right? So when you select a model, these are some preview images that come with it. So you can scroll on by and you should be able to see. Awesome. Thank you for censoring. You should be able to say, oh, this is the general model I'd like to see when Hermione pops up, right? So you can select that image, right? So even on this page, you can still see the base model. And what I've done on the back end is there's a public REST API to get this information. Here, I'll show you. Maybe if I'm nice, I'll leave this in the description. But here is the API to see all the different. Basically, you can rebuild the website with these APIs somewhat. So you can search by creator, you can search by image, search by model, right? And then the actual search endpoint should be somewhere. There it is. No. Should be somewhere. If it's not, I'm using it somehow. And so when you click on this image, now you're zooming in on the image and you get this handy dandy generation data card. Now this actually is not included in this API definition, but so just like this API definition, API v1 is open and available. I don't think you even need a token or any registration for this. Let's just verify that. So I have my Civit AI controller. And when we're performing a search, I think we're just doing a normal fetch request. Yeah. And the parameters don't include a token. I think I'm adding it just in case. Oh, I am right here. So this might be required, but you can just generate the token. So this one requires a token, possibly. I haven't tried without it in a while. This card here is outside of this API definition, and you have to find it on your own. And that was a tricky thing for me. So I'll show you how to do that. So you go to your developer tools and you hit F12 and you go into the network tab, and I'm going to refresh this page because it didn't record that event. And as you're scrolling here, let's do a filter, and I'm going to filter for generation data. Boom. Okay, so here are the requests for it. And as you'll see, it's resources used. It tells you the exact checkpoint, aka the model, and the exact LoRa that's associated with this drawing, along with the prompt it was using, which this is actually incredible. I don't know anything about these kinds of prompts, so it's really nice to see these. So I'm going to present this to the user, and what's going to happen is when they click on it, it'll download this information so it can pretty much make iterations of this model or of this style. All the metadata is right here. How much weight of this LoRa was used, right? It's incredible. And here's what I was talking about, where it shows you how it corrects the hands and the eyes issues. So, hey, negative prompts, make sure this is not a low scoring image. Interesting enough. And then a bunch of filters that keep it from doing unexpected things, because this was using a pony model. It's making sure that it keeps that out, makes sure that's older, making sure that it's censored. So some of them, this one doesn't have it. Let's see if others have it. But some of them, maybe when they ask for hands, it actually asks, it has a negative prompt for saying, don't mess up the hands, like right number of fingers, 5 fingers, no few fingers. It's kind of entertaining. But anyways, yeah, so I'm stealing this information, and how I did it was, once again, getting it from this endpoint, and this does not require authentication. I'm saving that information in my database because it won't always be available, I assume. Like, who knows if that was done on purpose. But hey, thank you for whoever left that open, because it's really handy. And yeah, so I should probably wrap things up here. I thought that was a cool little trick and way to sometimes something should be possible because you see it, right? I saw that this card data was there, and there was a gap in the API reference. So you have to ask yourself, okay, it's technically there. Can I get it somehow, right? And so my concern was, do I need to be logged in? Do I have to have some kind of session token or something? What kind of hoops will I have to jump through to get this? If I can, easy as pie. Here, let me just show you. It's kind of weird. I actually had a GPT help me with it because I wasn't sure how to generate this. So the endpoint was this, and I guess I can look at this example, right? So they request your URL. It was a GET request. Cool. So you don't have to do anything with the payload. And then it was this endpoint. This is trustworthy. I get that. And it's an API. So it's not v1. It's whatever this means. And it's a query. So, and this kind of looks like it's decipherable. But so there's an ID, and there was also some auth thing. So I wasn't sure what I was looking at exactly. And then GPT helped me discover that it was actually just stringified JSON, and the ID was present. It's probably this one that you can see it. The ID is present. So the image ID is 16156 blah, blah, blah. Over here, if I, over here, it should be present. Values undefined. It might be this undefined piece, but it should be here. And GPT broke it down and said, hey, this is what it should look like. So it's expecting a stringified object where the root object, it says JSON, and then it's expecting an ID inside there. It had this auth true, but it was being ignored. So in the future, maybe it's not ignored, but right now it was ignored. I encode it, and then encoding it. I don't know what that. Oh, encoding it so that any spaces in the URL turns into percentage, all that stuff, right? So it makes it look like all this junk. All the squiggly curly braces become these percent URI symbols, encode URI component. That's what's going on. And now that we have the URL, it's just a standard GET request, and boom, bang, pow, we've got generated data. So just keep that trick up your sleeve. I had an old friend teach me that. It was a pretty cool trick. Anyways, have a good one. Thank you very much.